Hello everyone out there in YouTube land, audio land. Ed Stevens here with another video that pertains to audio. I haven't had one in a while. First of all, Happy New Year. Hope you had a Merry Christmas. And we're off to another great year, I hope. We don't have any disasters or anything. Anyway, I've been out vinyl collecting. I haven't been talking about that much. I've been going from thrift store to maybe sometimes eBay. Regardless of the source, I've been collecting a lot of vinyl and I haven't been sharing it, but I'll try to get through some of it in this video. Just to show you where I've been, what I've been doing behind the scenes. And today I picked up some albums. Some of them may be interesting to y'all and some might not be, but this one was called There's Something Going On by Frida. Now you probably know Frida as 1/4 of the ABBA singing group and half of the female half of the singing group ABBA. Well, this one was when they went solo. I don't have any of the blondes. I think her name is Agneta Falstog or something. I can't pronounce it. This is a produced album by Phil Collins, and you probably heard the song I Know There's Something Going On. It was in the 80s. This was 1983, I think. That's album number 1. How did that get over here? There. You probably saw this earlier in the video when I was holding up Eurythmics, and this is yeah, stuff from the 80s, in other words. I've been 80s shopping today. This has Missionary Man on it, and this is, from what I heard from it so far, another very good album. It's something I never would have picked up on back in the 80s when it was new. I just would hear their songs on the radio and just did not, I mean, I enjoy them on the radio, but just did not consider buying any of their stuff, you know. So now, 30 years later, here I am with the Eurythmics album, and it was in very good condition, and it sounds very good. Another dollar bargain there. The Climax Blues Band. I haven't played this yet, and I'm not sure if there's any singles on here at all. Victim, Cutting Up Rough, Shake It Lucy, Oceans Apart, Breakdown, Side 2 is Darlin', This Time You're the Singer, Last Chance Saloon, They'd Never Believe Us. That's the contents of this album, and I've never heard it, but I've heard their music and I do like them, like that song Couldn't Get It Right back in 1977, and it is one called I Love You back in 1980, which is a good ballad if you're into it. It's a real good easygoing song. Don Henley, I Can't Stand Still. I believe this is his first solo album. It's the first Don Henley away from the Eagles LP. I have the CD of it, so I know it's pretty good, so I bought the LP. And yes, what is this? 9125? Yeah, this was As Owner of a Lonely Heart and It Can Happen. And this came out in 1983, I believe. Yeah, I could read that. So this looked like a very nice condition album. It even had a nice plastic sleeve to protect it. Whoever owned it before cared about their covers, and they just gave it all up. I don't get it. Must be when the CDs hit or something, they decided to just give it all up. Yeah, very nice conditioned LP. And I plan on listening to that soon. And I've been collecting albums for months now, like I said. Like I've always been collecting albums, but there seemed to be quite a few in the last couple months, more than any other time. That said, I also picked up this record cabinet for like $24 at a thrift store. So this is where I've been putting all my latest vinyl that I've been collecting. It's a little hard to move that. And from the same store, about a month ago, I picked up the Moody Blues Long Distance Voyager. That has Gemini Dream on it and The Voice, two of their singles. Bad Company, Straight Shooter. I can't remember if, I think I got this from Goodwill. It doesn't matter, but still one of my latest vinyl finds. This has Feel Like Making Love and Good Lovin' Gone Bad on it. 1975. Boogie with Canned Heat. This has got a very good sound to it, even though there's a nick on one of these. The last, you can hear it out here when you play it, and it still sounds pretty good. It's got On the Road Again, not the Willie Nelson song. The 60s On the Road Again with Boogie with Canned Heat. Pretty good blues, boogie type music. Van Halen, 1984. I've been picking up quite a few of these Van Halen ones. Now they're back together again and going on tour with the original David Lee Roth, which is kind of like the third or fourth time they've attempted that now. I don't know. See how that goes. Because I remember a few years ago they tried it and then they canceled out. Even they had all their whole tour, they had tickets on sale and they had to give the money back, I guess. The Police, Regatta de Blanc. This has Message in a Bottle, and I guess maybe that's the only one on here. I haven't played this yet, and I've had this for a few months. The Doobie Brothers, What Were Once Vices Are Now Habits. I also got the quad tape of this. There's another collection I could show you in another video, my quad collection, the quad tape collection. And Meatloaf, Bad Out of Hell, everyone knows about this. 2 out of 3 out of 8 Bad is the single. And Paradise by the Dashboard Light. And he made a comeback recently. He even fainted in the attempt to do it, I guess I heard, or read. Fainted on stage or something. It's good to see some of these people back in the limelight again. Bee Gees, Children of the World. This has You Should Be Dancing and Love So Right on it. This came out, I think this came out after Main Course, which was their Main Course was kind of like their big comeback album in the 70s, before the Saturday Night Fever rush. Wishbone Ash, there's no singles on here. This is pretty good too. Yeah, Wishbone Ash, it's just that's all it's called, okay? Stevie Wonder's Talking Book. This has Superstition on it. Sorry for the mush mouth. The first Van Halen LP, Running with the Devil, and You Really Got Me, all those songs. This is the disc that got them going. 1978. Van Halen 2, their follow-up. Let's see, Dance the Night Away, I believe, is the single off of this. And can't read it. Look it up if you're curious. Van Halen 2. Molly Hatchet. The Rolling Stones, Tattoo You. This has the hit singles Start Me Up, and Waiting for a Friend. 1983 or 82. I believe it was 1982 that come out. It's got an interesting inner sleeve there. Linda Ronstadt, Mad Love. There's another very interesting album. I just remember hearing these singles in 1980 on this. You know, I used to do a lot of recording off the radio, so this is some of the stuff I'd get on there. This is pretty good. I was surprised that I'd get into it because, you know, I like Linda Ronstadt, but there's some of this rocky stuff that she was doing. I kind of like, you gotta go, oh come on, you know. But once it's all presented in an album form, and you listen to it one track by track, this isn't bad, really. Just because they come out so darn fast, it seems like. There's another Linda Ronstadt one, Get Closer. This is another not so bad album. I got her whole box set CD box set. I don't consider myself a fan. I got all this stuff. I got Duke by Genesis. This has Misunderstanding on it. Love Stinks by Jay Giles Band. And of course it has Love Stinks. There's another one in here. And maybe there wasn't another single of this, but this is 1980, I believe. Joe Walsh. The smoker you get, the smoker you drink, the player you get. Whatever that's supposed to be. You ever look at one of Joe Walsh's albums? Right in between the label and the inner groove, there's always like a little message inscribed in there. Let's see if I can find it. Okay, I got a magnifying glass and I read the inscription, "Because we like you." He does that with all his solo albums. And there's another one. The But Seriously Folks album has a little inscription on there. It says, "Luncheon diner of the deli kind," or something. Luncheon counter of the deli kind. Just inscribed in there. What the hell, you know? What's he talking about? What's he thinking, you know? Okay, enough jaw here. Gibberish. Duran Duran, Girls on Film, 12-inch single. I think I played this once. Very nice condition. Yeah. I picked these up quite a while ago, maybe last summer sometime. Okay, Wild-Eyed Southern Boys by 38 Special. And this is Fantasy Girl, Wild-Eyed Southern Boys. I believe that was a single. Hold On Loosely, that's the one. That's the first song on this album here. Station to Station by David Bowie. He's got someone's name written up there. Karen B, whoever that is. Karen B, here's your album if you miss it. Station to Station, Golden Years, that was the single. And Wild as the Wind, Stay, TVC 15, Word on a Wing, something like that. He must use his titles together like his songs. Alice Cooper, Love It to Death. This album I got acquainted with after Killer came out. This came out before Killer though. The Eagles, I don't know how I got in there. Hotel California. By the way, I found a sealed copy of this at a Goodwill store. And I sold it on eBay. That with 2 Fleetwood Macs. So I made back the money that I spent on the albums. No time at all. 2 sealed Fleetwood Macs and an Eagles. How about that? Huh? Jefferson Starship, Freedom at Point Zero. I believe this has this track Jane on it. And this does not have Grace Slick on it at all. This is when Grace Slick got out of the band for a while. And she returned or something. Yeah, she's not on this one. Foreigner, Head Games. Dirty White Boy, Head Games. That was like 1978, I believe. 1979. Sheena Easton, her second album. And this has Almost Over You on it. What we got here? Telephone. I think I played it once. Burton Cummings, Sweet Sweet. Hard to find LP. This has You Saved My Soul on it. I believe that was a single. Get in My Daddy's Car. This isn't too bad. I picked up his first solo album. Whatever I did with it, I don't know. I think it's in my other record cabinet that I found recently after this one. I found 2 record cabinets in the thrift store. They want arm and a leg for these things on eBay. I've been picking these up for a few dollars. Jimi Hendrix, A Cry of Love. Now this isn't even in print anymore. The music is, but this particular package isn't. See all these great pictures of him at Woodstock and stuff in there. So I had the CD of it, and then it went out of print, I believe, and now it's some other weird title called Voodoo Soup or something like that. I don't know. This is the album that got me started on Jimi Hendrix. I didn't know who he was till I started hearing any of this. This is on a little, remember we used to, on AM radio, we had this, nearby we had this program called Spectrum, and they'd play, late at night they'd play album tracks, and that's how I got familiar with a lot of the stuff that's, you know, then was underground, now it's commercialized to death, you know. Toto. And this is Toto 4, I believe. Is the one before the V make it a 4? I think that's how it works. Roman numeral. Rosanna is on this one. Gotta speed this up. I know Rare Earth, I've had that for years. I got it in there. Bob Welch, French Kiss. Another one from the 70s. Ebony Eyes and Sentimental Lady are the two hit singles. Southern Pacific, it's too country for my taste, and I thought it looked like an interesting album. I wasn't familiar with them at all, so I played it and I thought, this is alright. Donna Fargo, another country one. Happiest Girl in the whole USA. One of those songs I remember, I don't remember even playing the whole album. I must have. That's one of those little curious. Now this is one of these curious country albums. I'm not country at all, but this has got a picture of my town on it. It's hard to believe. It's back there. It says Muskegon Motel or Hotel, and it looks like Seaway Bar. This is downtown Muskegon. What Dave Dudley is doing downtown in my town, and what year I don't know. Did he do a concert that had his picture taken out front there? I don't know. I don't get it. But all those buildings have been torn down since then. Just recently they've been torn down. I don't know if you can see that or not. It says Muskegon Hotel on there. Yeah, that's the only reason why I bought it. He sounds kind of like Johnny Cash a little bit. Power Station. Some Like It Hot. The Heat Is On. 12-inch single. Here they are. They're framed by a woman's leg. This is probably going to go over 15 minutes. Rod Stewart and Steam Packet. It says recorded over a decade ago. And this is one of those cheapo records. But it's not bad. It doesn't sound the greatest, but it's kind of an interesting album to listen to. What did I listened to it. It sounded like he was trying to be some other band. I'll have to get back on it. I know it wasn't his style at all. He sounded like he was trying to be somebody else. It was kind of an interesting thing to listen to. And there's another country one, Ring of Fire by Johnny Cash. I believe this is, well, it's a stereo. Well, it was a mono copy. Seals and Crofts, Get Closer. Phil Collins, Face Value. I had that for a long time. Some of these got mixed up. Going through my closet full of albums that I've had since I was, for 30, 40 years. Aldo Nova. This has got Fantasy. Life is just a fantasy. I played that like once. Flock of Seagulls. I had that for years. In from the Storm, a picture disc, tribute to Jimi Hendrix. This has got various artists on it. That's a pretty good album, considering, and being a picture disc, it doesn't sound too bad. There's one skip on it. George Thorogood, Bad to the Bone. That's been played to death on the radio. Now this is the other Molly Hatchet, Flirting with Disaster. This is the one. Their covers are so much alike, you kind of look like, what, didn't I just look at that? It's got Whiskey Man and of course the title track, Flirting with Disaster. Friends by Elton John, the soundtrack to the film, which I never seen. Carla Bonoff, Restless Nights. I remember a song she did called Isn't It Always Love? That's the only thing I ever heard. So I thought I'd buy it and hear what it sounded. It wasn't too bad from what I can remember. And I've had this for years. George Benson's Breezin'. Anyway, this is Ed Stevens. Hope you enjoyed this little video and didn't put you to sleep or none. Merry Christmas if you had one, and Happy New Year coming up. See you later.